Of all the skills I could have been capable of, why couldn't I have gained an ability for robotics? That would have been so freaking cool, because then I could totally design the suits in this movie, right? Right? Hello once again, watchers of good movies. My name is Nick Pell, and this is once again coming from my college dorm room. Now today I'm going to be talking about the film Big Hero 6. This is a new Disney/Marvel-esque film which just came out this weekend, and so I'm going to talk about it. Ryan Potter is the voice actor for Hero. Hero is this genius kid who's 14 years old and is a genius at robotics and techie things. And he has very untapped potential and doesn't know what to do with it. Eventually his brother brings him to his college and introduces him to their robotics program, and he gets very interested in that. Events take place and that plan falls through, and then eventually he winds up with a big inflatable nurse type of thing. And thus the movie kind of takes off from there. I don't really want to spoil anything which happens in this film, but know that it's very action-packed for the most part, and very enjoyable. Ryan Potter I thought did fine as Hero. I have a very tough time judging voice actors because I don't really know what qualifies as good voice acting, because as far as I understand it, they basically read a bunch of lines into the microphone a bunch of times, and then the creators animate the characters to match those voices, so I don't really know how voice acting works that well. But as far as I could tell, I thought I did fine. Scott Adsit did the voice of Baymax. It's a very robotic voice, and Baymax is probably one of the funniest characters in this film. He is the funniest character in this film, just because he is so unknowing about a lot of things which happen in the world around him. He's like a new child. He knows his one programming, which is to help people, and then Hero starts to modify that and convince him that the things that he is doing is going to help Hero feel better about something. It's just very funny in terms of how naive Baymax is about the world around him, and that's where a lot of comedy comes in. Again, Scott Adsit, I thought I did fine in the role as Baymax, and again, can't really judge that well with that stuff. Then James Cromwell played Callaghan. He is the professor-esque person in this film who is behind the whole robotics program, and he has a big role in this film as well. In terms of the story, it gets really dark, and a lot darker than I was really expecting this movie to get at one point. It's a very revenge-y driven movie as well, so that was something which I wasn't really expecting, and they play on that a lot about midway through, a little bit over halfway through the movie, and I really like that. It took me by surprise, and I wasn't expecting it, and it got my attention building up. It was kind of like the scene from Frozen where Elsa is fighting the two Garas, and it looks like she's going to kill them. It was that same type of feeling and mentality and the same type of scene, and I really like it when animated films do that type of stuff. It really intrigues me, and it makes the characters seem a lot more human and a lot more realistic. In that regards, I love the dark aspects of the story in terms of revenge, and also just really unfortunate things which happen to some of these characters, and it just works out really well. The villain is also, I'm not going to say who it is because that's kind of a spoiler, but the villain is somebody who we are able to relate to. His motivations are something which makes sense in terms of why he is doing what he is doing, and I really like it when characters are like this because it humanizes them, and it makes it seem like it's not just, oh, I'm going to destroy the world or take over the world or something along those lines. It's along the lines of, I have a very good reason for doing what I'm doing, it makes sense, I'm just going about it the wrong way. Aside from those aspects, the movie is also very funny. I found myself laughing a lot of times in this film. I was in a theater full of little children, and so they laughed a lot in this film, the parents laughed a lot in this film. There's a lot of good comedy in this film, and a lot of good humor, and that a lot of times comes, like I said earlier, from Baymax, because his naivete of the world around him just is very humorous to watch and see the responses of Hero and Baymax bouncing off each other, and just the reactions of other characters in the film as well. The movie also looks really good. I saw no real flaws in the design of the film. The world is built really nicely. It's the main city that this is set in is called San Francisco, I think, if I remember that right. And it's basically a combination of San Francisco and Tokyo, because it's got the Japanese aspects of it, but it's also the San Francisco city in that setting. And so I really like that part of it. The city looks really great. The costumes and the outfits and the attacks and the weapons and everything in this movie just looks really, really good and really, really cool. The music in this movie is also really, really well done. I usually don't compliment the music because a lot of times I don't really notice it, but in this movie it really, really did help it out a lot, kind of like how Hot Train Dragon 2's did. This music is composed by one of my favorite composers, Henry Jackman, and he does a really nice job with the score of this movie, and it's used in a very good way to really energize and create that heroic feeling and emotion in the audience, and I really enjoyed how that was done. Two real gripes with the film. First off, the ending seemed very, very rushed. The movie is about 2 hours long, and so that is fine, but when you spend a lot of the time on the build-up, and then like the twist thing halfway through, or 2/3 of the way through, there's not a lot of time left for the ending. And so that was something which kind of bugged me because it seemed very cliche in terms of the ending, and there are some parts of it which I really, really liked, but it just seemed like the whole outcome was very, very sudden and very simple and just a little bit rushed in my opinion. And so that was one of my main gripes. And the other one was, for me personally, the villain and the reveal of who the person actually ends up being was kind of predictable for me, just because it seems to be one thing and then it ends up being another, and it just pushes the audience towards one direction so much that it just becomes a little bit predictable that, oh hey, for a big reveal, it's obviously not going to be this person. And so that kind of annoyed me in that aspect of the film. But overall, I really did enjoy my time with Big Hero 6. It's a very well spent 2 hours at the theater. There is an ending credits scene which potentially sets up a sequel, kind of. I would love to see a sequel to this movie. I think it sets up the world really well. This is a good origin story. And then, I don't know if there's anything after, like the comic that this is based off of, but I would love to see more, because it could easily have a sequel with all these characters in it, and I would really enjoy it. Definitely stay for the end credits scene. It's interesting, but it's not like anything like mind-blowing or anything like that. It's more humorous for like the Marvel fans, if anything. So overall, I did really enjoy my time with Big Hero 6. It's definitely worth your time to go see it. I had a lot of fun with it, and I highly recommend seeing it this weekend. So those are my thoughts on Big Hero 6. Let me know what you thought of it down in the comments down below. Did you like it as much as I did? Did you despise it more than I did? Let me know. As always, like, favorite, comment, and subscribe. Once again, if you so choose, I'd appreciate it immensely. And as always, my good people, my name is Nick Pell, and once again, keep on watching.